We're here at Dockery Farms. You know, people from all over the world call this place a pilgrimage. Bluesmen from many, many years ago who learned to play at the old commissary just over my shoulder, they called this place home. B.B. King himself called this the birthplace of the blues. But my good friend Bill Lester, well, he just calls this place magic.
Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So do you want me to call you Bill or will you Bill for this purposes? Obviously we wanted to come talk to you about Dockery and all the stuff you got going on. I know there's some new projects happening.
Yeah,
do you want to tell us about those?
Well, we've been very fortunate. Several years ago, we got a Save American Treasures grant to restore this building that we're sitting in. It's the Dockery service station, and it was built in the late 1920s, and it had pretty much fallen apart. And then the Save American Treasures grant helped us restore it like you see it today. And then we received other grants for other buildings. We've restored the historic Cotton Seed House, the one with the name on it.
That's the famous part. Everybody knows that.
He painted that name on there real big so you can see it from the depot. The depot's across the highway. That's why it's so big. When you got off at the train, he wants you to be able to, see where you were. And so we just received a Mississippi Delta Heritage Area grant, and we're going to restore the old cotton gin. We're not going to make it run again, but in the late 50s, when they stopped ginning cotton there, they just turned the key and locked the door and walked away. Left all the equipment there. The big motors are there.
So the equipment's still in there right now?
Still just exactly like it was when they ginned cotton. And so now we have that where we can show you what an old cotton gin looked like. So by restoring it, what we're going to do is we've had the steam cleaned, and we're going to fix all the old windows that are broken. We're going to put up some safety railing, and then we're going to put up some special lighting that backlights the equipment, plus allows you to be able to go through there safely and look at it. But I think the really important thing is we're going to have a documentary film that shows cotton production before the turn of the century, when it was all by hand, up until the present day, when you spend $900,000 on a cotton picker, and one man can bale cotton and spit it out the back. And so the film will show all these visitors that we get here. And we have thousands of visitors that come from all over the world. If you look at the sign-in book, people that are here from the Netherlands, France, Italy, Spain, Rosedale, Mississippi, and so they come Drew, and so they come from all over the world. Here's some right now outside. I'm going to try to come in here and mess up our film.
And that's fine too.
That's fine too, but that's what they're doing. Where are you from?
France.
From France?
Yes.
Well, we're glad you're here.
We lost it.
You can tell us why you're here.
What brings you here?
We came here for the blues.
For the blues.
Yeah. That's the right answer. You did good.
That's the great. And for those living under a rock, why are these people here?
I'm telling you that they come from all over the world every day, and that's one of the reasons we want to get the gin fixed up, is so they can actually see some of the things that they know took place in the Delta, and they want to see for real.
Because you and I know.
Yeah, you and I know, but Dockery is the only blue site I'm aware of in Mississippi that actually is like it was at the turn of the century. All the rest of them have either been burned down or torn down or gone. And so Dockery is the original site. As you can see, we got a picture of B.B. King up on the wall up there. He's standing out in front of the seed house, and B.B. says, if you have to pick one spot, you have to say the blues started right at Dockery. And that Charlie Patton is the father of the Delta blues. And so a lot of folks write about the blues and all that, but B.B. lived it. And so B.B. says it's the birthplace of the blues. That's good enough for me, all right?
Is that just fate, or was that planning of the Dockery family?
Well,
they realized, at what point did they realize the significance?
All right. In the 1950s, Joe Rice and Keith started getting letters from...
that long ago?
Yeah, from blues writers and blues educators and people want to come. For instance, Robert Palmer came here and stayed with the Dockery. Robert Palmer wrote the Deep Blues, and he came here and talked to them and asked questions and talked to the people on the place. And so they knew from a long time ago that this was a very special place. But they waited till about 12, 15 years ago to actually start restoring it. We enjoyed it. Thank you, thank you. Make sure you go up there and look up under the seed house. There's a book to sign in, okay?
So,
Great.
we did it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And that's the beauty of it, right there.
Right there. I was very fortunate to move out here about 40 years ago, and Tom Cannon was still alive. I didn't know 40 years ago that I'd be doing this today, but Tom Cannon was just an old black man that I met, and he was Charlie Patton's nephew, and he was 14 when Charlie died. So he got to know Charlie Patton really well, you know, as a youngster. But he told me all sorts of stories about the blues and about what happened out here and about how life was. And I was just listening to him 40 years ago because he was an interesting old black man.
Right.
And you know, I had no idea I'd be retelling these stories. And so the things I tell you about the blues are not made up or read. They're stories that I heard from him who lived here and saw it.
If there was one story that you learned from him, you would have to retell every time. I know it's probably hard to choose.
No, I have 100 of them, but one of the most really important to me and most significant was one day we were sitting in the back of the tailgate of the truck. We were fixing the fence. The fence is gone now. We were fixing that barbed wire fence out there, Tom and I were. He was stretching the barbed wire and I was nailing the staples in. We were fixing it. We were sitting there resting and we were talking about Charlie Patton. And he looked at me and he was in his 80s then at the time. He said, "Oh, Mr. Bill," he said, "you can't imagine, Charlie Patton was a real man." He said he was the only black man back then that wore a white man Sunday school clothes and drove a brand new car. He said the rest of us, and he used words I won't use.
Right, I understand it.
He said the rest of us blacks were barefoot and riding mules. He said, but Charlie rode in a brand new car. He said he was a real man, Mr. Bill. And he said, you know, Mr. Charlie was really tight. And I said, he was tight. I said, no, what you mean is he was cool. And I'll never forget that old black lady looked at me. And he said, Mr. Bill, he said tight is way better than cool. So anyway, all the stories just, you know, there's just lots of them. And what it was like for him to be a child here, he was born here, and to realize the kind of lifestyle that they went through. We look back on it and think it was horrible, you know, and I'm sure some of it was really difficult and hard. But he told me, he said, man, I love my childhood. He said, I didn't even know I was black till I was about 10 years old.
You know, I look at the tourists that come here and you look at what's going on in Clarksdale and here and all over the Delta now with tourism.
Yeah.
There's a mystery to what happened that we almost don't understand. We can't even grasp. The people that live here, I don't even think understand the mystery.
You know, all of us adults, you know, can't use the word magic. You know, that's
right
for children and
so we say mystery.
Yeah, so we say mystery, but what it really is magic. They know something unusual happened here. Excuse me. They know something unusual happened here, and they want to be a part of it. And the only way to be a part of it is to come here and stand on this ground where all that stuff took place. Now, I'm not saying that they are going to go and have something happen to them, supposedly, that happened to Robert Johnson.
Right.
Or all of a sudden they can play the guitar better, or they got $1 million.
They're not going to meet the devil and sell their soul.
They're not going to know.
We hope.
Yeah, they're not going to do that. But they're going to go away feeling like something magical happened. They got to have a piece of whatever it was that was here. They got to have a piece of it here because they were here. And we don't understand that because we live here.
Right.
Thousands of them would come here if they weren't getting something.
He makes these calls, Jay.
That's a code, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do
you still do some duck calls?
A few. I sold over 3,000 duck calls in 20 years. Isn't that code?
That's crazy.
That's amazing.
Would you like to know how many turkeys have been killed?
Oh, man, I get pictures all season long. People holding up turkeys with that thing around their neck, hanging off their neck.
That's cool.
Kill turkeys all
And what's a call like that called?
$100. But you know how soft it is? what the call sounds like that.
No.
It's got a different sound, and it's not magic like this magic out here, but it's different. And turkeys like different. They don't like the same old thing all the time.
So let's talk about events. I know y'all do a lot of special events, concerts, and other stuff.
We did. We've been very fortunate. Once we got the cotton platform restored, that's where they stored the cotton bales before the train came. You know, Mr. Dockery had a train here. Then that's where we had all these people come sing. We've had Herbie Hancock here. We've had Kev Moe here. We've had Mavis Staples here. We've had Tedeschi and Trucks here. We've had Roseanne Cash here. And for the Tedeschi and Trucks, we had over 2,000 people right here at Dockery. And they parked in the parking lot, about 800 cars. It was unbelievable, you know, and we really enjoyed that. And we're hoping to have more in the future. You're here today, and I'm working on a one-man show that I'm going to have in Jackson at Brown's Gallery. I think it's November the 2nd. I think that's the first Thursday night in November. But the first one-man show I had in Jackson was about 55 years ago.
And you were how old?
I was 15 years old. And so Eudora Welty came to New Stage Theaters where I had it. And she came to the performance that night and bought one of my watercolors. And so she won't be there this time, of course, but I'm hoping some of the folks that remember her and some of her friends will be there. But after 55 years, I'll have another one-man show, and so I'm fooling around working on that today. And I'm also getting ready for Nashville. Every year, about the second week in Nashville, I go to the National Wild Turkey Show, and I sell turkey trumpets. And this is...
and you don't call that a call, it's a trumpet.
It's a trumpet, because that's what it is. It's a long, bell-shaped instrument, you know, that you draw air through. You know, you can practice by just going.
So you draw through backwards.
Uh-huh.
I didn't realize that.
And all I'm doing is, it sounds like this. That's your finger on it. But you put your hand over it, put your finger over the hole.
Just like the jazz machine.
Exactly. All I'm doing is I'm stopping the airflow from coming out. So the air is going back and forth and becoming harmonic. It's not harmonic when you do this. Hear the difference?
Oh, sure.
The air can't get out from my fingers over the hose. What's it doing? It's fluctuating as I'm sucking on it. See, I'm going. Hear that cluck? That's a killer cluck. Anyway, and so I sell lots of calls up there in Nashville. 50,000 people come in 3 days.
That's a fun show, I bet.
Oh, jeepers. It's just packed. People walk through constantly. I mean, I lose my voice, my lip swells up, and I sell a lot of calls.
Show us the other one you got there. I know you got the bamboo in your pocket.
Yeah, well, this one is made out of industrial acrylic. But a long time ago, people used to make them out of cane, just river cane. But cane is so, the hole and the size is so uniquely different with each piece of cane that you could never make it sound right, I didn't think. Now, you might get one to sound good, but you couldn't get a bunch of them. And so I designed this column, which is a piece of river cane, but it's got carbon fiber tube inside it. And so I can control the size of the tube and the length of the tube, and it sounds like, you know how clear it is? And you can even keep on it. But you know, I've enjoyed talking to you. It's been a pleasure to sit here and especially sit in front of this old sawmill.
You want to tell us the story behind that?
Yeah,
I know the story, but
you can see what size it is, and it was pulled by a steam engine. You know, you can imagine the size of the engine to pull this much metal, you know, through a giant cypress log. But after they finished with it, they saved the blade, and when they redid the house, there was a cistern in the back porch of the house. It was open with a back porch. Well, they turned it into a bedroom, and so they refloored it, and they put this saw blade over the top of the cistern, and then put the new flooring on top of that. And so when we redid the bedroom, the flooring had gone bad. We tore all the flooring out, and this was on top of the cistern.
lo and behold, there it was.
There it was. So I saved it, got it out underneath the house, put down some treated plywood back over the cistern, and built the bedroom.
So the cistern's still there.
Still there, right up under the house, 28 feet deep. You could put a Volkswagen in it.
Oh,
All of it laid hand brick. Yeah, when I put a flashlight down there, there wasn't a piece of mortar gone. All of it just perfect, just like they built it. Isn't that something?
That's crazy.
Yeah. But you can see what giant size material they flew with.
It's no telling what secrets that you hadn't found here.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That you're gonna find before it's over.
All these people, you know, who were here before us just left everyday things and went about their business and never thought it'd be important to us. You know?
What we do here is go back.